If you are looking for a PureVPN review, here is the answer up front. PureVPN is a low-cost virtual private network. It runs on more than 6,000 servers. It covers 10 devices on one account. At the time of recording, it starts at around $2.55 a month. That is the easy part. The harder part is that this company has a past and it has a renewal price that catches people out. Both of those are manageable once you know about them. Neither one is obvious from the sales page. So I am going to cover 3 things. What PureVPN actually is now, because it quietly stopped being just a VPN. What it really costs, including the number that is not on the pricing page, and what paying customers report once you go and read them. How I check this matters, so I will be straight about it. I do not have a PureVPN account and I have not run their app. What I did was open their real product and pricing pages this week and read them line by line. Then I read what customers wrote on Trustpilot, on Reddit, and under other people's reviews, especially the bad ones. Start with what PureVPN actually sells because it changed and most of the short reviews out there have not caught up. Their own homepage does not describe a VPN. It says PureVPN unifies VPN, password management, dark web monitoring, tracker blocking, and data removal. That is their wording, not mine. So what is being sold here is a security bundle under a VPN's name. Picture the difference for a second. A plain VPN does one job. It takes your internet traffic and wraps it in encryption. Then it pushes that out through a server somewhere else. The site you are visiting sees that server's address instead of yours. Genuinely useful on hotel Wi-Fi. Genuinely useful if your internet provider is nosy. The bundle adds things that have nothing to do with that tunnel. A password manager. A service that watches for your email address showing up in a data breach. A tool that files removal requests with data brokers on your behalf. Here is why that matters when you are choosing. The 3 tiers on their pricing page, Standard, Plus, and Max, are not 3 different VPNs. The VPN is the same in all 3. What changes is how much of the bundle comes bolted onto it. So if all you want is the tunnel, the cheapest tier is not a stripped-down version of the product. It is the product. That is the most useful thing on that page. It is also not written anywhere on it. Now the money. These are the numbers from their order page at the time of recording, and prices like these do drift. There are 3 plan lengths, monthly, 1 year, and 2 years. By month to month, and standard is $12.95. That is the real price with no commitment. Hold on to it. Every discount below is measured against that number. The page opens on the 2-year plan, and there it splits 3 ways. Standard is $2.15 a month. Plus is $2.73. Max is $3.55. You pay the whole term up front, so standard is $58.20 today, and that buys you 27 months. Look down that comparison table and you can see the point I made earlier in their own ticks. The top row is full-featured faster VPN, and it is ticked in all 3 columns. So is the tracker blocker. The password manager drops off at standard. Data removal and dark web monitoring only appear on Max. You are not buying a better VPN as you go up. You are buying more software around it. Every plan carries a 31-day money-back guarantee. Every plan covers up to 10 devices at once. 10 is genuinely generous, and it is one of the strongest things about this product. A lot of the competition stops at 5. One more thing I saw while I was on that page. A pop-up appeared offering 85% off a 5-year plan, $1.99 a month, with a countdown timer showing 15 minutes left. The banner behind it was advertising 82% off, 2 different discounts on a single page load, and a clock running on the bigger one. I will let you weigh that. What I want to show you is what happens next, because that is where the real cost of this product lives. So, you paid $58.20 and you got 27 months. Month 28 arrives. What lands on your card? $47.95. For 12 months, run that through. You went in at $2.15 a month. You come out at almost exactly $4 a month. That is an 86% increase on the cheapest tier for the same product you already had. The other tiers do the same thing, plus renews at $69.95 a year, max at $84.95. And here is the detail that turns an ordinary price rise into a genuine complaint. That 31-day money-back guarantee covers your first purchase. It does not cover the renewal. I am not inferring that. PureVPN's own refund policy page says trial-based renewals are non-refundable. It tells you to switch off auto-renew before your trial expires. And over on Reddit, there is a steady run of people describing the other end of it. One user in September of 2024 was told refunds cannot be processed for renewals once the subscription period has begun. Another, in January of 2025, was told refunds are only available within 31 days of the original purchase. A commenter on one of those threads pointed out that half the posts there are the same post. So both sides actually agree on how the mechanism works. The only disagreement is about who noticed in time. Now the history, because if you search this company's name, you are going to run straight into it. In 2017, PureVPN handed user records to the FBI in a criminal case while advertising a no-logs policy. That much is not in dispute. What is disputed is what those records contained. Several write-ups this year describe it as connection metadata rather than browsing history. Others simply call it the moment a no-logs claim fell apart under legal scrutiny. Both readings are out there, and I am not going to pretend one of them clearly won. What is not in dispute is what the company did afterwards, and it is more than most would have bothered with. They moved the business to the British Virgin Islands. They brought in outside auditors, first Altius IT, then KPMG. Reviewers this year count 4 separate KPMG no-logs assessments, running from 2019 through 2024. The sources disagree on whether the most recent one closed in 23 or 24. Then they signed something genuinely unusual, an always-on audit arrangement. KPMG can come back and recheck the no-logs claim at any point with no advance notice. At least one industry site says PureVPN is the only consumer VPN operating under that kind of contract. Here is how I would read that, and you are free to weigh it differently. The company that got caught is now one of the very few that agreed to be checked at random, on someone else's schedule. Whether 9 years of that outweighs the original incident is honestly your call to make, not mine. So what do people who actually pay for this say? The answer is split, and the split itself is the interesting part. On Trustpilot, PureVPN sits at 4.7 stars out of 5. That is across more than 700 pages of reviews as reported this February. That is a high score by any standard. Reviewers there praise the support team by name. A lot of them praise something smaller and more practical. The servers are sorted into categories, streaming, peer-to-peer, and so on, so you can pick one that works instead of guessing. The specialist review sites are much colder. Cyber Insider published a 2026 review with the words cons outweigh pros in the title. They point at faulty apps, mediocre performance, and weak streaming support in their earlier testing. Another site ran a piece this year arguing you should avoid it outright. VPN Mentor landed in between. They say they can recommend it, but not for everyone, and they give real credit to the always-on audits. The individual complaints are consistent about 2 things. Speed under load, with one Trustpilot reviewer quoted as saying the speed is not suitable for streaming and the connection is unstable. And a report from late last year that the Android app has no kill switch you can switch on. I could not confirm that one myself, so treat it as a user report rather than an established fact. 4.7 stars from customers, and avoid it from the reviewers in the same 12 months. Both of those are real. The gap between them is the most honest picture of this product you are going to get. So who is PureVPN genuinely for? If you want a VPN for ordinary privacy, this is a strong fit. Public Wi-Fi, a hotel network, a laptop you carry around, and you want to spend as little as possible doing it. 10 devices on one account is a lot of coverage for the money. The audit arrangement is better than what most budget VPNs offer, which is usually a promise and nothing standing behind it. And if you will actually use the password manager and the breach monitoring, the bundle stops being filler and starts being value. There are two situations where it is the wrong pick. If your entire reason for buying is streaming one specific service in one specific country, the complaints cluster in exactly that spot. That is worth testing hard inside the 31-day window before the money is committed. And if you are the kind of person who buys a subscription and then forgets it exists, this is not your product. The distance between the intro price and the renewal price is wide enough to sting. The guarantee will not catch you when it lands. A calendar reminder at month 27 is worth more to you than anything else in this video. One sentence to take with you. PureVPN is a cheap, well-covered VPN with a genuinely repaired privacy story. It also has a renewal price that will nearly double your bill if you are not watching for it. Know that going in, and it is a good deal. Miss it, and you become one of those Reddit posts. I have put links to everything in the description. Some of them are affiliate links, so I get a small commission if you use them at no extra cost to you. One question for you. If you have used PureVPN, did the renewal catch you out or did you cancel in time? Tell me in the comments, because I would genuinely like to know how common it is.